I do feel that there is sometimes a lack of sympathy from dog lovers towards people who are scared of dogs.
Where there's any conflict, it's always about a balance. This issue comes from the fact that dogs are voiceless.
If a dog bites a human,
He'll be clobbered to death, probably.
With dog lovers, they need to empathize with someone who lives in a society where he doesn't have the money for soundproof windows, where there's a pack of 15 dogs that fight every night and just ruin his sleep so he can't work properly the next day. But maybe that person should also have a little empathy for those dogs who are tearing each other apart for like half.
why do you want a Rottweiler? It's like some uncle who's seen like a monster truck show in America. He's like, Mera kutta sher hai.
Super large breed with the capacity to harm. Golden Retriever has that same capacity.
These guys, backyard breeders, the female dog is 1 litter of puppies. The babies are separated, and as soon as she can conceive again, the happens.
I genuinely feel very strongly that humans feel that they have some God-given right to the planet. I mean, if you see a child in a cage, there'd be an uproar.
Lead a cow, you can lead a goat to a slaughterhouse. Would you lead your dog to it?
Do you think dogs are special? I'll eat pretty much any meat I can get my hands on, but you give me dog, I won't eat it. Does that make me a hypocrite? Welcome everyone to another episode of The Overcorrection. Today we are in studio with Aparna and Shantanu Asar. Welcome.
Thank you.
They are the force behind the Jed Animal Welfare Trust. It is a fantastic organization that works towards providing medical assistance to animals in need.
Yes.
People don't know sometimes what they can do to help. These are people I know, and a lot of people have told me they do some excellent work. So if you do want to get involved in animal welfare in any way, you can reach out to them on Instagram.
Certainly.
Yeah, superb. So, over the last couple of months, there have been a lot of issues surrounding animals in India. Everything from stray dogs to certain pet breeds to kabutar khanas being banned. And I just wanted to have some people over who work in the space who can shed some light on really what the reality is, particularly, say, of stray dogs, if we're going to start there. I want to say something before we get into it, is that I do feel that there is sometimes a lack of sympathy from dog lovers towards people who are scared of dogs. And it's a bit ironic to me because dog lovers come from the most empathetic, most caring point of view, and sometimes they neglect to see that people don't always love dogs the same amount they do, and when you pose their comfort with a dog's comfort, it's kind of offensive to them.
Right.
If you have to, some people hear it as, I want to walk down the street, but hey, these people are like, no, this dog should have more right over the street than you. And I think that's where people get a little agitated and people end up sort of talking past each other in terms of how we actually address this problem. So as two people who are dog lovers, I would want to get your thoughts on that. But more importantly, as someone who used to be terrified of dogs,
Yes.
Aparna,
Absolutely.
I think you might be able to relate to them a little more. What do you think?
So most of my life, and especially as a child, teenager, I was terrified of dogs. There was no real reason because I had never been chased, never been bitten, never had any negative encounter. But somehow, maybe I was a fearful child. So while walking the street, if there was a dog on my side, I would cross. So I have zigzagged through life, half of my life, until we got a pet.
Until I got a pet that you didn't want.
Yeah.
Yes, let's put it that way. So we had promised Shantanu a pet, and when we got him, I had all these conditions, no non-veg in the house. I want no pet being on the bed, no this, no that. And Shantanu would just say, okay, mom, okay, fine. If that's what you want, fine. Until the pet came, and guess who was the first one to break all the rules?
It's actually always, I think, the moms in the house who end up spending the most time with the dog. And like the cliche, they are the ones who always didn't want a dog.
Yes.
My mom's the same. She always says with our retriever, Sandy, she's like, who do you think took care of Sandy after you went to college?
Exactly. So I can relate to people who are scared of dogs, who are fearful. And I mean, it happens. There are people are scared of dogs, people are scared of other things in life,
And the truth is, I think India does have a stray dog problem.
Yes.
So it's not that they are scared in the abstract. India, compared to other countries, has a big stray dog problem.
Yeah.
I used to think growing up here that every country must have these dogs just roaming around everywhere, and it turns out it's not the case. So there are there are some reasons why we have a lot of stray dogs, and people are saying abandonment is, I'd say, a key reason driving this.
So as I've read, there's not much reliable information in terms of statistics on this. It's mostly reports, scattered reports, but it is obvious that the rate of abandonment in India is much higher than in other countries. So from what I'm reading, it's anywhere from 30 to 50% of owners will at some point abandon their animals. And obviously the rate is much lower elsewhere. So there is an issue. It's also an indigenous dog problem where our indigenous dogs have not been correctly managed by local authorities, which has led to a lot of overpopulation. And what doesn't help is that there's constant littering and throwing of junk everywhere, which then incentivizes them to go and find food and forage. So their populations are just sort of exacerbated. This whole issue is exacerbated by filth as well.
And I'd imagine these indigenous dogs, they're sort of, the way they mate and how many offsprings a dog can produce is kind of what shocked me.
Is
when
absolutely
Yeah.
something like 50 or 100 puppies can be born off one female dog in its
Yeah.
lifetime.
in her lifetime. Yes.
So you can't win, even one abandoned dog on the street. If you abandon a dog on the street, the potential for that dog to get impregnated and produce strays
Yeah.
over its lifetime is exponential or something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I do feel that you may think that just because you see all these strays roaming around that no one's abandoning, say, the purebred retrievers, but people are abandoning them. These retrievers are mating with some strays, and that's why you're seeing all these dogs. Otherwise, you have to really wonder where they come from, because we neuter a lot of the dogs on the street.
Yeah. Well, at least for the BMC, there is some work being done. I'm not going to say that they're not doing their job at all, but it is obviously not enough. There's a lot left to be desired, and there's a lot of slack that NGOs and other welfare organizations are picking up on, not just in terms of sterilization, but vaccination, medical care. More could be done.
Yeah. I think so. This all erupted about like a month ago, as we were discussing. So there was an order passed, I think, by the Supreme Court in Delhi regarding some people who were being harassed for feeding stray dogs outside particular communities. People who lived in those communities were like, hey, I walk this road and I get chased by dogs every day. And some people who were feeding the dogs, they got into it. And the Supreme Court sided with the people who wanted the walkway to themselves over those dogs. They said some things over there like, go take these dogs and feed them in your own home, which are considered very, insensitive. I'm sure that did not make you feel too good.
No.
Because you're going so much out of your way to help. And
It is. It is a constant struggle. People who are in this, it takes up, we are not NGOs. Earlier, I was not. I was part of a lot of animal welfare, dog welfare groups, where we would really spend multiple hours in the day trying to help strays. So it's like, if you give food to a beggar, it's like saying, isko ghar leke jao. It's not right. It's not right. There has to be a mid path. You
it's
can't.
exactly like that. I actually, people should not treat it any differently in theory. You can say it's a question of scale. People are more likely to take a dog home than a beggar, which is like, in its own way, sad.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. It is, but you cannot point fingers at people who are trying to feed a hungry dog
Yeah.
or even a beggar.
Yeah.
There are people who give money to beggars. There are people who give food to beggars, clothes. See,
Everyone has their calling.
Everyone has their calling, and at the end of the day, everybody is doing something for a soul that is helpless, be it animal or human.
I think this loops back to the whole man-animal conflict
Yes.
issue, where whose interests sort of should take precedence in any given situation. And here is where we differ a little, where I feel where there's any conflict, it's always about a balance. Taking a very extreme or sort of positional stance is not going to get you anywhere. Um, I do have sympathy for people who are scared of dogs, who have who are victims or whose families have been victims of, say, dog bites or any incidents. But at the same time, I would say that there is help for these people. There are systems in place and infrastructure in place. For example, mental health, which can deal with your traumas. You have hospitals and clinics which can give these people sort of medical aid. Not much is there for dogs. So I feel a lot of the vehemence with which the animal lovers sort of speak on this issue comes from the fact that dogs are voiceless. Um, and that is why they are sort of viewed as being very extreme and not really considering the human aspect of it.
Yeah.
But as I said, humans can be spoken for, whereas
That's true. I think if
Yeah.
you look at it like if a dog bites a human,
yeah,
they'll put that dog down like
He'll
tomorrow.
be clobbered to death,
Yeah,
probably.
human hits a dog. What were you telling me? 1960s law tells you there's a 20 rupee fine for your first
yeah,
offense.
yeah.
So you can like throw a dog off a bridge or something. You see these crazy videos, you
Yeah.
know. I think animal lovers get incensed sometimes on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Yes.
Because I don't know if it's doing good to spread awareness that this is happening, or it's just like filling my head up with garbage when I see some dude throwing a dog off a bridge, or horrific things like putting a firecracker in a dog and setting
Yeah.
it on.
Yep.
So on this point, the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act is essentially the whole scheme of the act has been set up to prevent the infliction of any unnecessary pain or suffering to animals.
Okay.
The fines and the punishment for this is prescribed under Section 11, which says that for the first offense of infliction of unnecessary pain or suffering on animals, the fine is 10 to 50 rupees. And for a second offense, which is committed within 3 years of the first offense, the fine increases to 25 to 100 rupees, or imprisonment up to 3 months, or both. Now, putting aside the fact that this is a complete joke, um, what happens if you throw a dog out of a window and then 3 years later you decide, I don't want to pay 25 to 100 rupees or risk a measly 3-month imprisonment. I don't mind paying 10 to 50 rupees. So after 3 years, I'll just do it again and go back to the initial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these laws are still the ones which are technically
Not technically, this is what is
ones
in
you have to
force.
file. If I had to file a complaint, I'd have to do it under this law.
Yes,
today.
that's the law in force. And there is a bill, which is a Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Amendment Bill in 2022.
Okay.
It's not yet passed.
So I assume that bill will be sort of hopefully tightening up measures on the strictness and double offenses and
That's
stuff. But
the hope. Yeah.
So we have an abysmal state of animal rights in India. And in a country with, I guess we can even qualify this under civic sense. Even though civic sense is used for littering and stuff, your basic human decency.
Exactly. Yes.
Basic human decency, I think, falls under civic sense.
Yeah.
And it's painful to watch. I do want to say one thing, though, before we go on, is that, and I am as guilty of this as anyone, is that I feel that there is a lot of love for animals and animal care that comes from an elite privileged section of society. One, because they have, I guess, discretionary time and money to do things for other people. Fantastic way to spend your money rather than partying it up at Bastion, I always say. But other than that, I do feel that some of the people who say don't have a problem with stray dogs being fed anywhere on the streets aren't the people who necessarily have to walk from their home to a bus stop and may have to make that same walk at 9 p.m. at night and be chased by dogs, be attacked by dogs.
A lot of the times, as humans, we make our decisions based on what we perceive. We have our own sort of paradigm and the way we've been brought up and our experiences and our culture that filters that basically it makes us filter what we perceive and then come to conclusions about it. So it's a lot of it is empathy, and with dog lovers, they need to empathize with someone who lives in a society where he doesn't have the money for soundproof windows, where there's a pack of 15 dogs that fight every night and bark the night up and just ruin his sleep so he can't work properly the next day. But maybe that person should also have a little empathy for those dogs who are tearing each other apart for like half a Mari biscuit that was found,
Yeah, that's what they don't see.
And
which goes completely unseen.
Have you seen stuff like this where dogs
Of
are
course.
violently fighting each
They
other
have
for
bitten,
scraps?
yes, attacked each other, torn flesh out just for a morsel of food. In Bombay, there are certain areas where breed dogs are abandoned. You go to, I don't know if I should name them, Ray Road has Back
Please
of
name
Beyond.
them.
Yeah, there are certain, and there are breed dogs
Yeah.
who have known nothing but a life in a home that are just dumped there. Huskies, German Shepherds, Labs are like the new Indies, I'm sorry to say. I mean, we're comparing them to Indies. It's a horrible life.
Because that's how
But-
you see them.
Yes. Any breed, Shih Tzus, abandoned. I mean, a dog this small.
By the way, these some of these small dogs, I'll just let you know. I've had a big dog, I've had a small dog. These dogs, they have no defense, evolutionary defensive traits. They were like Malteses. If you have a Maltese, they were bred like on a throne next to some Greek king. Like they used to just sit there. That's all they're trained to do. So when my Maltese goes out into the balcony, it barks at a kite like, come here. And I'm just looking at this guy, buddy, if this guy comes here.
no, and some birds can pick up these dogs. They're so small.
It would be,
Yeah.
My dog would wait for it. A rabbit at least knows to run away.
Exactly.
Because it's grown up in the
Yes.
wild.
Yeah.
My dog has grown up like eating, like its food quality is better than probably the stuff I eat. It says on its
Yeah.
food. Human quality ingredients. Meanwhile, you look at my food, it's filled with chemicals. So I mean, people are abandoning dogs. People are have huskies in Mumbai.
And
mean,
the cruelty, because a lot of people get these breeds without understanding what goes behind that.
It's a showpiece.
It's a showpiece. It's a status symbol. It's you have to get a dog depending on your lifestyle. If you are an outdoorsy person, active, then a high energy, a larger dog suits you. Like a German Shepherd, a Doberman, no, whatever. Huskies, I don't think belong to this country at all.
They
It's a
look like
sin.
they belong to Game of Thrones.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
they look like wolves.
You're,
Yeah.
you're
Huskies
looking at
straight
two
up.
huge Game of Thrones fans.
Then people don't know how to cope with that level of energy. That they just can't deal with it. And then they are not trained. Another thing, a big factor is training your pet. No matter how small or how big, the dog needs to be trained for his own safety and for the safety of the family and outside. There have been, if you're on the road, there is something that's happening that startles your dog. If he is trained to stay, sit, stop, that can save him, that can save a lot of
Yeah.
unfortunate incidents that can happen. So this is another issue. People get these dogs, they are not trained, they don't know how to deal with them.
Because mostly the staff manages the dog.
It is the
In
staff.
most houses, my house included.
Yes.
I'm not going to pretend to be the guy who's doing everything for his dog 24/7. India, this is the culture, kind
Yeah.
of. So people are even less incentivized to do it because they're like, I'm just going to play with this dog for
It's a
the
plaything.
the fun times.
Yeah.
People think dogs are like accessories, or pets are something which you just keep. There's not much effort. They're more for like giving you sort of some value add versus you value adding to them.
That's absolutely right.
And the issue with that is, look, dogs are animals, right? If you don't teach them what is right, what is wrong, and socialize them based on human interactions, what is right or wrong for in terms of their behavior with humans, how would they know? And then they get behavioral issues. They could get aggressive if they're not socialized well, both with humans and other dogs. They could be aggressive with either humans or dogs or both. And then you reach a point where the owner is like, even my staff can't handle this dog. I have work. I mean, I'm feeding the dog, I'm housing the dog. What more can I do? Can't deal with this dog. Abandon it. And then you have a scared dog and a badly socialized dog who is then going to go and bite someone
On the street.
because they don't know any better. Dogs are fight or flight, and as per my understanding, I'm not an expert on this. They will always choose flight over fight. But when they feel that they are backed into a corner and they have no other option, they're going to do damage. Like there's no two ways about it. Like you can't wrestle a dog that wants to bite you. If it's going to bite you, it's going to
Yeah.
bite you.
Let me add one thing. It's the same what you would do with a human child. You train your child, right?
Yeah.
Most don't do it properly.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's
that-
considered.
that's-
It's actually should be considered negligence for you not to
100%.
train your child.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
It's a risk you're giving to this child to carry with it the whole life if it's not trained properly.
child and society again.
And society.
And
It's gonna be
society.
a burden on society.
If you let your kid, a human child, run amok, do what he wants or she wants,
Grow up to be a criminal.
absolutely.
I mean, basically.
Yes, exactly. So
Or-
the same rules apply for your pet. It is a living being. You have to teach it how your parents taught you. You teach your kids in the same way you train your pets.
Yeah, one time actually, so we had this. I'm going to give a little tip out there since I just on the top of training pets. So we had this dog trainer come for my dog, and my dog has insane energy. Might need medical attention how much energy this dog has. I can throw a ball for it for like 2 hours. My dog can, so he won't get tired. One time this trainer came and just for like 2 hours, not even 2 hours, 45 minutes, she made him just sit, stay. Just sit, stay. Sit, stay. And he just sat for like 1 hour and like followed her. After that session, when she left, she told me, she said, listen, Rohan, don't freak out. He may pass out for like 10 hours. Don't need to call the vet. You don't need to call me. It's totally normal because that exhausts dogs. It's not brute force, stupid movement, just run back. The second my dog had to apply his brain and be patient and sit and have focus, that exhausted him more than dumb
Just
running.
the
And I think a lot of
physical
people try
activity.
Yeah.
to tire both dogs and kids out through like
Physical
dumb-
activity
yeah.
and
dumb
just-
running.
There has
As-
to be some enrichment, right?
Some enrichment,
Yeah.
and that is actually, and you'll feel that even as an adult.
Yeah.
If when you go to work and your job is boring, paper pushing work, versus when you have to be creative and focused, you
Yeah.
leave home and you come home in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Right.
And I felt Kenzo felt that day. So, anyways, we were getting on the point of good training and good habits, and we can now use this as a discussion about how much more important it is, I would say, to train a big dog than a small dog. Because one of the good parts about a small dog is they're like almost indoor cats. My
Yeah.
dog doesn't actually need to leave the house.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of exercise in the house. We take him outside to socialize him, but he doesn't. He's too small to like play out like a big dog, like my retriever would. I wanted to talk a bit about certain dog breeds. This is where actually Shantanu and I connected. We had this disagreement on my opinion that we should ban all Rottweilers. And Rottweilers for me is a stand-in for like Rottweilers and Pit Bulls and what I consider to be very dangerous dogs. This is my personal thing. I know people have Rottweilers out there. I know Shantanu's messaging. I know a lot of you have messaged me. I'll show you some of these messages before. And I get it. Like a lot, the general theme is that, hey, you're wrong to blame this dog. It is the owner's fault. And in that sense, yes, I completely agree. I don't blame dogs for anything. They're dogs. I still treat them like animals. I don't ascribe moral value to a decision a dog makes at any point. Even when that Rottweiler attacked and killed this baby in Gujarat, which is when I sort of awoken to the fact that, hey man, people in India are roaming around with these dogs around kids.
Yeah.
Even then, I don't ascribe moral judgment on that Rottweiler.
Yeah.
To be like that Rottweiler decided to do something evil and attack this baby. I don't think that's what happened. In fact, because I don't think that's what happened, I do feel the human intervention is then subsequently needed. Because I can't, in fact, ascribe moral decisions to a dog. I just feel, to sum it all up, is that there are certain dog breeds which pose, like, in the risk-benefit to it, I don't see what benefit there is other than a person saying, I want a Rottweiler. And in the risk, I see these huge, just stacking risks. What are y'all can take this how y'all want.
So just to briefly loop back, I think this is such a good point on which, again, I think in India is like necessary, like please be empathetic. When I responded to you, I was in a very emotional state at that point in general because of the ongoing news with dogs. And I didn't know much about you or your life at the time. And then later I realized you have a baby, like you have a child.
Which is probably why I responded to that news so
Exactly.
like,
And that's the empathy, right? Now I can understand why you had the reaction that you did. And I can't argue against it. Like I would, if I had a child, I would want to make sure my child is as protected as possible. So it's about maybe sometimes pausing and you know, just considering the other side's view. But to get back to the point,
yes.
I think we found a good middle ground. I had to think about this, and I do think that most people, 99% of people, don't need certain dog breeds. If you want companionship, you can get it from a small dog. And this is coming from someone who, I'm a big dog person. I
Yeah.
love big dogs. I love to just like, you know,
wrestle
squish
them
and like,
and have,
But yeah, when you look at the issues that we've talked about in terms of training and the fact that most people don't, it compounds this issue. I will say that I think it's harmful to blanket call all large dogs or certain breeds of large dogs aggressive.
Yes.
Yes, there might be some genetic predisposition, and again, I'm not an expert. These are just my
Me neither.
feelings. But it's there are some dogs which have genetic predispositions to be, you know, maybe aggressive or more violent. But in my opinion, it comes down to the training.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
we had a German Shepherd, and he was a big German Shepherd.
I saw a photo. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Big guy.
And he was the most gentle dog. I can't tell you how many people have come into the house. There was a friend of a friend who had come for a house, like just I had a house party and my friend invited him over, you know, can he come? I said, sure. And that poor guy was petrified of dogs, and he comes to a dark house with like, you know, people jumping all over the place and with this big hulking German Shepherd in a corner. And he was trembling. I'm not kidding. By the end of the night, he was sat on the couch with my dog, curled up next to him with his head on his lap. This was someone who was petrified. And I mean, my dog has, in terms of humans, has never, ever like harmed anyone. So
I know Alsatians are big, scary dogs, but from what I know of dogs, and I've been like, you know, loved dogs for many years, so read a lot. Alsatians are some of the best dogs with children, with people. They're some of the smartest. I think they are one of the smartest dog breeds out there.
yeah.
Extremely intelligent.
Extremely intelligent, and in a lot of ways can be protective.
Yes.
If trained right, can be the best way to
Guardian.
keep you safe.
Yeah.
True.
In a lot of ways. I've seen videos of a dog actually noticing a baby falling into a pool and jumping in and pushing this baby out. So look, for all my thing about this Rottweiler. But listen, I've also, now I'll tell you first-hand stories. Okay, I've played with so many dogs, right? I'm going to put Pomeranians aside in a separate category, and I'll address my issues with Poms later, because I've never met a pleasant one in my life. But that's separate. I also find them to be harmless because they're so small. So the fact that they are yappy and unpleasant permanently.
But a lot of small dogs are yappy.
Yeah, but Poms...
Poms are different level.
Have you?
Yeah.
There's no. I don't have to check. Every person I've met who's met a Pom, you just at the yapping at you constantly. I'm like, what did I do to you?
Yeah.
So putting Poms aside, I've played with a few Rottweilers and Pit Bulls, and they can be very friendly. But you always have to be A little, because they are territorial dogs, is what you realize at the end. Once you play with enough of them, it's like, oh, they like playing with you. The second they feel there might be a bit of like, oh, he's getting a little too comfy now, scratching me. Suddenly,
You have something at the back of your mind
it's back
always.
in your mind and it's
Yeah.
there. And I've seen these dogs versus my golden retriever labs. I worked on a Great Dane farm before I got a golden retriever. 24 Great Dane puppies and 4 big ones. Once you're settled with them, they don't change.
Yeah.
They don't have sudden bursts of territorialism. And I noticed this with this Rottweiler once and a Mastiff once, and it was these particular breeds which are little. And I just came down to the question, like, I just thought, why do you want a Rottweiler? Someone asked me, answer me why you want a Rottweiler. And I always felt it's like this, it's like some uncle who's seen like a monster truck show in America. He's like, Mera kutta sher hai. And, you know, it's like
He-Man.
He-Man, you know,
Yeah.
it's some like machismo,
Status
like my
symbol.
dog will
Yeah.
whoop your ass type of feeling.
Yeah.
I was
It's a
like, no, your
feeling of
dog is going to
power.
whoop your ass one day if you don't
Yeah.
be careful. And so I always ask people, like, what do you want a Rottweiler? Now, look, do you have a 2-acre compound with high fences and you want an actual guard dog with a big sign on the fencing, beware of dog, then please get Rottweilers.
And if you have a reason to.
And you have a
And
reason
if-
to
yes.
protect something,
Yeah.
please, then don't get my dog. My dog will not be of much help to you if you want to guard anything. In
Yeah.
fact, my house in London got robbed years ago, like 10 years ago. My dog was home, alone at home. Had my dog been anything like a guard dog, they may have harmed my dog.
Yeah.
My dog probably played fetch with them for 20 minutes as they robbed the house.
Yeah.
And like wagged her tail as they left.
Yeah.
That sounds like our Jedi.
Yeah. So I mean, so sometimes it's just a good thing that it wasn't a guard dog, because had it been a guard dog, who knows what
Exactly.
these robbers may have done.
So, another thing I'd like to add, when Jed was a pup, we hadn't yet got a trainer, I would take him down. There were people who would come to me and say, training karna hai police dog ka. आपका German Shepherd है police dog. And I'd say, नहीं हमको नहीं चाहिए. नहीं ये तो होना चाहिए, बड़ा dog है. I said, हमको guard dog नहीं चाहिए. We want a home pet. When we got a trainer, see, we were very clear that we didn't want him aggressively trained at all, no negative reinforcement. We had 3 generations in the house. I had my in-laws,
Okay.
70 plus.
Neither of whom liked dogs.
Yes.
Wow, Shantanu's will is strong, huh?
After 20 years, I
Yeah.
broke through. Yeah.
There was us we were also, I mean, younger then, so we had people our age group, Shantanu's age group, so we had 3 generations, and we didn't want an aggressive or very, very highly trained dog who would just snap at anything. So so that again comes down to training your dog.
And you made that choice. Like, this dog trained a certain way could have gone the canine unit,
100%.
defense.
Yeah.
I strongly
those guard
believe
dogs.
that
Yeah.
training is the main thing in like kids, pets, it's the same thing.
I mean, people like with these big dogs in the United States, they do the whole the gun comparison. I mean, it's a little on the nose, the
Yeah,
comparison, because I don't want to compare like this dog, but it does come down to a level of responsible ownership. What is the even need to have a Rottweiler versus a golden retriever? I just genuinely ask. And then when everyone who messages me about dogs, about Rottweilers in particular, is always a dog lover, and I always. And I got a lot of messages. Not just Shantanu's was the most reasonable, best message, which is why we actually spoke about it. I'll release some of the other messages I got. They're all dog lovers who somehow feel it's really important that people can have Rottweilers if they want Rottweilers. When in my book, someone who is a dog lover should be against any type of bred dog at all.
I feel, look, where do you draw the line here, right? Having said that, we feel that it is a training issue, while also admitting that there may be some
Genetic
genetic
conditions that make some
predisposition.
dogs different from other dogs.
Where do you draw the line? Like today, assuming we say, okay, let's ban Rottweilers, let's ban, any other sort of super large breed with the capacity to harm. Golden Retriever has that same capacity.
That capacity to harm. In fact, I was shifting into other thing. What's your take on bred dogs in general? Like there's a good, like, my argument to say ban Rottweilers is from a human safety point of view.
Yeah.
If I look from the animal welfare point of view,
Yeah.
you should not encourage any type of dog breeding unless it's for very specific purposes. For example, if you need the police force of India
Yeah.
to have like 500 canine Alsatians, okay, they should be bred for that purpose and trained for that purpose through all the things. But from what actually I've been reading about the state of dog breeding in India,
Yeah.
it is disgusting. From
It is
Rottweilers
beyond
to Maltese.
heartbreaking.
So my Maltese, I need to tell this story because it broke my heart when it happened. My Maltese, so my Maltese Poo, who I have Kenzo, who might make an appearance, who you've seen in previous episodes, he's an adopted dog. We bought a Maltese 4 years before that in lockdown, proper lockdown buy. We got him, had an underbite, so that means his, or an overbite, his front jaw,
Upper jaw was-
is
yeah.
protruding out. So the tongue sticks out super cutely. It probably upped his market value or whatever. too cute. Noticed after a while he was breathing a little heavy. You know, after a few throws, breathing heavy. Took him to the doctor. Doctor's like, hey, do a scan. Took an X-ray. Shrunk a valve in one of his hearts.
One of
One
his
of the
chambers.
valves in his heart
valves.
is shrunken in one of the chambers. We were concerned. Concerned like out of love. So we called the breeder being like, hey, has your doctor said anything about this? Is there any medication we should give him? We found out he has this condition. It could be an issue. What has your doctor said? This is all we called and asked, like generally, because this guy had been with the dog till like 3 days before. This guy's like, मुझे कुछ पता नहीं है, वो ठीक है. Exchange चाहिए तो कर दूंगा. I hung up the phone right there. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
need to talk to this guy anymore. And then I realized what it was. He was selling me a labubu as far as he's
Right.
concerned. And
They
then I
don't
realized
care.
he doesn't care. And then you read into it. They're breathing fathers and daughters and brothers and sisters. And
Yeah.
it's a thing. And you know, people are paying 1.5 lakh, 2 lakhs for some of these dogs.
Yeah.
People are going to do it.
You're
Yeah.
messing with the genetics, with their health. That's just the beginning. And what happens is then the dog gets blamed.
For sometimes behavioral issues.
Exactly.
Which will inevitably follow from improper breeding.
We've all seen Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I don't think breeding in itself is something bad.
Okay.
If properly regulated, it is probably the right way forward because
But that
you
is a
can,
big if.
Yeah, so I have one final overarching point which I'd like to make on in general dogs
breeding.
in India. But of course, the implementation has to be there. But
But you think if implemented correctly, there's a good way to retain breeds?
that's how it's done world over. Negative or unwanted traits are bred out of dogs. Genetic issues, health issues are bred out of dogs. Certain dogs, if a male or a female has, say, hip dysplasia, those dogs are not bred. Then they're not made to sire.
To be fair, some level of that is prescribed on humans. You're no longer, say, allowed to deliver, like you do prenatal testing
Yeah.
before
Yes.
3 months. And if there are certain conditions under like almost a legal guideline, you cannot take this pregnancy to term.
Yeah.
But there needs to be so much more awareness about this. But people don't care. They want to put their money and get the dog. They don't know. A lot of people don't know what backyard breeding is, and a lot of people don't care.
When you told me some of those backyard breeding stories, I couldn't believe.
It is horrendous. In fact,
Why don't you expand on any particular story you know? Because people
just
may not
backyard
know about
breeding.
it.
Like I never even heard the phrase backyard breeding till you told me. And now when I think back, my dog probably came from like a backyard breed shop.
so these guys, backyard breeders, they just get, say, golden retrievers, German shepherds. They are put in tiny cages most of their life. The female dog is they have stands where she is actually put in and she's
She's like constrained or bound.
constrained. She
Yeah.
cannot move. And one litter of puppies. They are not given proper food, proper medication, like just how humans need, or a human mother needs vitamins, proper food, supplements, nourishing. Nothing. And as soon as those babies are born, They are separated from the mothers at 40 and 50 days where they yet need to be with the mother. But people don't realize that. They also don't see what is happening to the mother. So before that is done, the babies are separated, and as soon as she can conceive again, the happens. They are not let out for walks. There have been so many rescues that have taken place, and they have massive skin infections, maggot wounds. They are sick. They are blind. They have so many health issues.
I remember the first time I went
That's a
to
puppy
Crawford
mill for
Market
you. Yes.
when I was a kid. So I was just telling you. So when I went to Crawford Market, I got these two parakeets one time. That's when I learned that all these green birds you see in Mumbai are not parrots. Parrots are apparently huge.
Yeah.
Like parrots are almost 2 feet
Yeah.
in length or height. Parakeets are those size ones. So I had these two parakeets, and I used to grab them. Today you ask me to grab a bird, I'll freak out. I fearlessly would just grab these birds, hey, shut up and talk to them, bathe them under my tap. I know this is probably animal cruelty, but I assure you I did it with good intention. And then let them fly around my room to dry off and use this Harry Potter towel to
Oh my god.
grab it from out under the towel, put it back in the cage, and say, I love you. I used to do this. So, and it came from a place where, and I genuinely thought I was giving them better living conditions than what I saw in Crawford Market. Because in Crawford Market, I have this memory of a cage about like a 3 by 3 base, 3 feet by 3 feet, and about 4 feet tall. And there were puppies covering the whole floor, and then another layer of puppies on top of them.
Yeah.
No shelf on which they were. They were dumped in like rice in a bowl. This was, and people were like buying teacups opposite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like you'll go like, oh, this is Crawford Market. I'll get my like kapda here, and then I'll walk past these dogs.
Get
and
a
I'll
turtle, a dog, some fish.
turtle, dog, fish, anything.
Birds, anything.
It's total apathy. I mean, I know I'm opening a can of worms, but I genuinely feel very strongly that humans feel that they have some God-given right to the planet, and there's just no consideration for other animals, their space, their living conditions. Just, I mean, if you see a child in a cage, there'd be an uproar. Why should you put an animal in such a small cage like that? How is it okay? How are people so desensitized? And I mean, that's not to say, I mean, people are desensitized on the streets. Today, like a beggar comes and raps on the car, you're like, dude, don't touch my car, you know?
Yeah.
And so many people are like that.
Yeah.
And like, I feel where there's so much apathy, people don't care.
I think it's a there's a great mental toll actually on people to see this around you every day. It's one of my when I was talking about why I would like to leave Mumbai.
Yeah.
Not because like I just want to get out of this like poverty-stricken place or anything like that. It's that I just don't think there's something really wrong about me being able to drive through like from here to Andheri for an hour every day, go past 200 beggars and just
Be unbothered.
just be like,
You
Don't-
get so
just
desensitized,
so desensitized
to so many things.
that must be causing some serious like
Damage.
mental I mean like I'm reprogramming myself to not give a shit about people.
Yeah.
Because if I did give a shit, in any world where you remove our current level of desensitization, you stop your car, you tell my boss, you call your boss and say, hey boss, I can't come into work today. There's this dude on the street who looks like he's going to die if someone doesn't get him food in the next hour.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing anything else and I'm just going to go around getting this guy food.
Yeah.
But you can't do that because there's 200 of him every 6 kilometers.
It's a coping mechanism. And so mom is the driving force behind, the welfare trust and all the work. I help her wherever I can, but I told her from the beginning that, Mom, as much as I feel, I will help. I will put in some money from, what I earn every month. I will help you do the admin stuff, the background stuff. I can help you build your page or whatever. But what I can't deal with is that constant exposure. Don't tell me about the animals you see suffering. Don't tell me about cases because I can't handle it. Some people can, I can't.
Some people, I think my wife is the same way. She's like, a very strong empath.
Yeah.
So you can tell her, like, I sometimes say, maybe I'm not as empathetic. Like, I can hear a horrific story and sometimes just say it flippantly.
Yeah.
And I see when she hears that, she's like,
Yeah.
I
can't deal with
I
it.
see something hit her.
Hit
Like,
her.
nothing has hit her, but I see something hits her.
And I'm sure it bothers her for days. Yeah.
I have to like break her out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, and she can't. Like, it bothers her for days. She can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know. I'm lucky or unlucky. I don't get affected as badly as her, but I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and there are certain things that get like you said. Like, it's your personal frame of reference. Like, I recently had a child, so when I read that news about a child being attacked,
Yeah.
It hit.
it hit me to a different level.
Yes.
And someone has a dog and someone says like, hey, we don't care about these dogs getting food. You're like, what are you, crazy? You know?
So there was a time when I used to go feed one old dog at Inox, close to my house. I became extremely attached to him. And there were these kids. Now I used to go from home with his kibble and water, medicines mixed in, wait till he finishes his food and go back home. So all you're carrying is the food and your house keys and your cell. So these kids used to see me, and one day they came, Didi, paisa do, sandwich khana hai, coke pina hai, something. So I said, paisa nahi hai. And they said, Didi, no na. I said, sachi mein nahi hai. I was chatting with them. Next day, and both the days, there was this one particular guy who was at the bus stop. And he said, कुत्ते के लिए खाना है, आज बच्चे लोग के लिए खाना नहीं है, पैसा नहीं दे सकती है. Now, perspective. I did give them some food the next day. But again, I mean, it's people who, it's your passion. It's
Everyone has their calling.
a
Like,
lot
we reach
of
that-
people feel you do so much for animals. Are there less humans in the world that you don't help them? You go running after dogs. But it is
yeah,
a
people, I
passion,
mean,
it is a calling.
It is in theory thing, but it's a myopic view. I think kids should be helped. I think kids seeing someone else help an animal is also a good thing for them to see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's everyone has their own calling and duty, and it's like this is like a different type of whataboutism. Like,
Yeah.
True.
this is like a, it's like that
It's
Dave.
debatable.
It's that Dave Chappelle
It's-
joke. He's like, I was telling my friend, man, it's hungry. He's like, there's starving kids in Africa. He's like, so what, man? I still want lunch. It's like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
At some point, you can't
Yeah.
be like,
Where do you draw the
where do you
line
draw
and
the
who
line?
draws the line
And
for
who draws
you?
the line?
And everyone does in their own way. Like some people will feel more for animals, some people will feel more for humans, or some people will feel more for something else entirely. Like everyone will try and help in their own way.
So when I think Crawford Market reminds me that there are a lot of other animals other than dogs. And
Yeah.
I think we love dogs. One question: do you think dogs are special? Because I think yes is a very defendable answer. I think for people who love dogs,
Yeah.
can say that, man, there's something about dogs from all animals. But I have, in my lifetime, I've had a pet chicken. I'll put this photo up. I'll show it to you also. It's me hugging this chicken like we're best friends. I must be 4 years old. I've had a rabbit, hamster,
I've had 5 chicks, pets.
like
Yeah,
Re-
those
yellow
rescued,
chick-
bought
chicken.
from
rescued.
Crawford Market.
Crawford
Yeah.
Market.
Rescued
Same. I just
Same,
didn't know
okay,
any
yeah,
better
so
at
you
the
know the-
time.
you
I
know
had
the drill.
two lovebirds and two of those tiny turtles as well.
Yeah. So we
Yes.
both had birds,
Yeah.
but I still eat chicken. Right. I eat chicken. I'll eat pretty much any meat I can get my hands on. But you give me dog, I won't eat it.
Yeah.
Right. But if you took me to this restaurant in Africa, Carnivore, that very famous old restaurant where now it's illegal, but they used to get you big game on sticks like giraffe and rhino.
Yeah.
Dude, I would want to eat it. I don't know why. That's like a horrible thing to have. Or just to eat meat. I'll eat goat. Happy to. Happy to. And
why not
I'll
dogs?
seek it out. I won't go to a restaurant, man.
Yeah.
If they're not serving non-veg. I love animals. Does that make me a hypocrite?
I have. I mean, I'm not going to go and sort of impose my morality on you. Um, with dogs, I feel dogs are different, and there's a specific reason why I feel like that. It's because humans have a certain evolutionary responsibility to dogs. They're called man's best friend for a reason,
I
right?
was about to say
We
that.
have bred them through the years to be in tune with us, understand our expressions, our emotions, uh, to be our companions and protectors, and likewise, to protect them and be their companions as well. So when you take animals which have been bred through eons to view humans as their friends, and then you break that trust like that, um, it's depressing. It's depressing, and people will bring up pigs. Yes, pigs are as intelligent as dogs, but they've not been bred like that. So, look, I don't eat all animals. I eat chicken to a certain extent as well, and I do feel that this whole, and I'll get flack for this, but this whole sort of veg and veganism and non-veg debate uh, is very much out of hand. Uh, you see in nature all the time that there are animals eating other animals in horrible ways. They die horrible deaths. I don't think any side has the right to impose their view and their eating choices on the other side. The only caveat I would say is that just be humane about it, right?
Factory farming
yeah,
is obviously something no one would support.
exactly. The way humans have now set up the infrastructure in terms of the animal
Meat
meat
industry,
and meat industry
the infrastructure is messed up.
it's it's horrid. So that's the only caveat I would put there. There's a
And
way
that's a
to
big
do it.
caveat because
Yeah.
there's a way to do it, like
Yeah.
you said.
But
And
is there a kind way to kill any animal? If you
I
the
think
bottom
what
line.
people will say, there are kinder ways. And
Kinder, but-
yes, kind I don't think is
You can lead a cow, you can lead a goat to a slaughterhouse. Would you lead your dog to it? And imagine the fear that that animal goes through, knowing what's in store, because they can smell the blood, they can hear the other cries of the other animals.
yeah.
Again, see, I don't eat non-veg, but
For religious or for these war animal welfare reasons, or is it something your whole life you've never
my whole
eaten?
life I have never, and I've never been tempted to have it, and I couldn't even handle the smell. Of course, I mean, now it's a lot of our friends and everybody has non-veg, which is fine, but I don't do. I have never had it. But I've always, and at the same time, I do consume dairy. So, and the dairy industry again is another
It has its own set of
horrific-
problems,
Exactly.
right? With the hormones
So,
they give cows, and
who am I to say that don't eat a cow or don't eat a this? They are being slaughtered. The same thing is happening in the dairy industry.
correct.
So it is a personal choice, which I don't think it's debatable. Again, everybody has their own views
I
and
mean, there are people who will
opinions.
say like, don't eat honey. It's
Exactly.
an animal
Yeah.
product.
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
And again, while it's gone out of hand, and like I said, I'm not part of this vegan no meat trend. You have to feel you should respect the attempt if it's coming from a good point of
Yeah.
view, right? Like
Of course.
someone wants to try to be completely ahimsa.
Yeah.
Right.
It's following it's Jain teaching, as in,
Yeah.
we'd say vegan, but we in India and as in our dharmic traditions have known Jains for our whole life. So
Yes.
we understand people who don't want to affect a potato.
Yeah.
So I just wondered, I loved your answer about dogs. I do on some intrinsic level feel the same way. I am that guy who says, hey, but like technically if you had a pig, it might just like play fetch with you.
Yeah.
Just like a dog would.
Yeah.
But they're not as cute and they roll in shit, I guess.
And that's no reason to justify eating a pig either, right?
It's
but
not-
I mean, what are you going to say to someone who's eaten meat their whole lives?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like,
yeah. How can you? Would you change the way you live if the other person told you that's wrong? No. So it is a difficult conversation, and I feel a lot of people are very hypocritical on both sides of the line.
Yeah, like there's a whole pescatarian thing, right? Okay, so fish don't have nerves, so it's okay to eat them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So I'm saying like people figure out all sorts of mental gymnastics to get around and figure out wherever they outpiece.
Yeah.
I sometimes stay away from some of these animal farming videos, like that seaspiracy and cowspiracy and all these. They're traumatic. I mean, I think one thing we can all get around is factory farming is horrible.
Yeah.
And one thing I think I could make the statement: if tomorrow you told me that I can have ethically sourced meat, I will pay a premium. I might pay 1.5 times what I pay today for chicken. I think I can pay that much, even 2 times that much, to have ethically sourced meat. There are people doing this, by the way, in India now.
Yeah.
Like they're doing it with other products, clean products, and now they're moving into ethically sourced meat. I think people should pay a premium. One, it'll reduce consumption. Vegetarian diets, on average, have been shown to be healthier than non-vegetarian diets, just in long term, not like in the absolute values on a statistical level.
Especially with
Especially
red
red
meat.
meat.
And,
Exactly.
yeah.
I'm saying like the fact is when you eat chicken, it's not like chicken breast. Now you're eating chicken poppers
Yeah.
and KFC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of the health benefits come from the fact that non-veg food can be made very unhealthy.
It's also a bit of a luxury. I feel. I mean, we're privileged enough to say that, and to be in the position where okay, if it costs 2 times more,
Yes.
we'll do it because I believe in the reason. A lot of people don't have
Yes.
that luxury, and I mean, that's where you have to consider these things as well, right? For them, okay, you're asking me to not eat non-veg. Where am I going to get my nutrition from now? I can't afford something 2 times more expensive.
People, I mean, this is an old thing, but the dog meat industry, which is something that popped up in my research of all this, which is crazy. Apparently, banning these dogs has some connection to people who use dogs as a regular source of food. And horrific to me. But tomorrow, if my family was starving and the only meat they could get their hands on was a dog, I mean, I think anyone would make that decision. Not anyone.
Not me.
Any type of food. I mean, I would go vegetarian before eating a dog, but if it comes down to like me surviving or this animal surviving, I know it's like a crazy dystopian thought, but I think once you recognize the principle of that thought, you realize where on some level
Yeah.
some people stop caring. They're like, bro, it's not a dog. It's like, if that's a chicken to you and that's lunch, this is dinner.
Yeah.
You know, like, how else do you want me to look at it? I'm not going to eat otherwise.
It's a perception.
Yeah, it's how hungry you are.
It's a very, in my view, it's a very slippery slope sort of debate. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's important we talk about these things. I know I have some like differing views on some of these things, but I really wanted to show that people who disagree on some topics can actually chat about it. Not necessarily, they don't even have to agree at the end of it. Sometimes people think like you have to reach some agreement. No, you don't. Sometimes you can just
You can agree to disagree.
Yes, you can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And whether we agree to disagree on some of the topics, one thing we did not disagree on is the need for animal welfare in this country. So please, I said it at the start and I'll say it again, go to JED Animal Welfare Trust. Help out in whatever way you can. If you don't know how to help out, you can at least rest assured that whatever help you do give is going to the right place.
Or just spread the word. It makes a big difference.
Yes. Now, please, I want you to guys just tell, what can people do? How do people get involved? Whether it's on like a financial, emotional, or administrative sort of helping the way along. Legal, what are some legal things? If there's some petition, do people need to make some noise about this animal welfare bill that was pushed in 2022? Just anything you want to tell the audience.
So what people can do firstly is be a little more empathetic and sympathetic towards street animals. See what is happening on the streets. You know, when there is an accident or an old dog, blind dog, maggot dog, lot of people on the street help. It's not that they don't, but they don't know where to go and what to do. Also, they may not have the financial means. It's expensive.
I think people are scared of that. They're like, oh man, if I go to this dog, like I'll do a good deed, I'll pick up this dog, take it to the thing, they'll slap me with a 20,000 rupee bill. I can't pay that right now.
Exactly.
I'd rather not do anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's not the move. There are
That is
people.
not. There are people. So basically, spreading the word about NGOs, about organizations, small, big, that makes a big difference. That makes a very big difference, that at least people are aware that there are organizations who do help. So awareness.
A lot of NGOs and a lot of smaller trusts and welfare
Foundations.
organizations I'm not just plugging us. Like any sort of organization, a lot of them function on Instagram, right? Most people now, especially everyone who's watching this, knows how to navigate Instagram. Just type in some sort of dog welfare, or you'll find pages.
Animal welfare, your area name, and it will get you the
Anything. And if you contact these people, us or anyone else, it's a very network based sort of community that we have. So whilst we do medical care and we have some medical foster facilities available, there are people we know who specialize in adoptions. There are people we know who can sort of manage some sort of hospitalization. Yeah, so
Okay.
we are also in touch with paid shelters. So if someone can help and you don't necessarily have the money, I would say yes, first step is empathy. Second step, just try and be a little patient. There are people who will cover costs. So we can't. There are many cases where we go out of pocket for some dogs, but through
We
the Jed
fundraise.
Animal Welfare Trust, we fundraise.
Yeah.
And others fundraise as well. And
Superb.
there's a lot of people who are willing to help. So finances shouldn't be a bar on helping.
yes, and don't be scared of helping because you think it might stick you with a bill. I think these are
Yeah.
like it's a very selfish thing to say right now, but I think it does cross people's heads sometimes.
Yeah.
It is a
When
big
they-
issue.
And validly so.
Validly so, and not
Yeah.
everyone is just walking around ready to drop 10,000 rupees without
Blinking
without a
an
thought,
eye,
without
yes.
blinking an eye,
Yeah.
And I think we should, but we should not let say that financial commitment come in the way of empathy, because there are other people who can do what you can't, and maybe you have the time to do
Yeah.
X, Y, Z.
And now we have the information at our fingertips. You Google animal help, animal welfare, closest hospital,
Yep.
and you'll get contacts. You'll get contacts who will be able to help you help the dog and take it forward.
Superb. I think that's a great note to end it on.
Yes.
So we are going to put links to the website and your Instagram page in the description. Any questions, you all can message directly over there. Thank you, Shantanu. Thank you, Aparna. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
Thank
much
you for all the
having
work you
us
guys
here.
do.
Thank you.
And this has been great. I'm really excited for this episode. And
Yeah.
everyone, thank you for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video, go do something for an animal or a person or a human, something empathetic today.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah?
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we'll end on that note. Thank you everyone for watching. This is The Overcorrection. I'm Rohan Pranashve. Thank you.